Good day, everybody, and welcome to your next pick a card reading. My name's Brittany. I'm the Cancerian Clairvoyant, and I'm bringing you another pick a card about what makes people scared of you. This is an interesting topic, and I'm really excited to see what comes out. So we will go ahead and get started here. A couple things before we do. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Every little bit helps. Also, as sharing does too. So if you feel compelled to share, please do so. Make sure you hit the notification button to get notices for when I go live or upload new content. If you feel like you would like a reading from me, please check out the description box below, and there are details on how to book that. Otherwise, we will go ahead and get started. We have 3 piles here. The first one being Cassandra Jasper, right here. We're using the Osho Zen Tarot for this one. There it is. I just got a couple of these decks, so they're brand new to me. The Smoky Quartz for the second pile. We are using the Philly Tarot deck. This is actually probably my favorite deck of cards. I am from around that area. And then for the third one, we are using, third pile is Amethyst, and we are using the Zombie Tarot deck. All right, so I'll go ahead and give you a second to meditate on what pile you think fits you best, and then we will go ahead and get started. All right, pile 1 with the Cassandra Jasper. Put that there and move these out of the frame. And then move this pile out of the frame, and we are good to go. So this is my new pile, and then we're going to pull some oracle cards as well, which I have the Animal Spirit deck and the Crystal Angel Oracle by Doreen Virtue. All right, so pile 1, what makes people scared of you? So the first thing I heard right when I was shuffling was that you are delightful for quite some time until you are pushed, the wrong button's pushed, and then you get mad, or then you are unwilling to work with people. So what makes people scared of you, pile 1? All right. Aloneness. I get that when you are alone, or not talking to people and kind of like shutting yourself out, that they know the storm is coming, and that is a warning sign that when you isolate, it's not going to be good. I feel like you kind of have like a blow up tendency, that you kind of let things fester, and then you literally need to separate yourself because you're going to get mad. Yeah, look. So we get mind. So I just get that you're in your head thinking, especially when you are upset. What makes people scared of you is that your mind goes a lot of places. I think that you can conjure up a lot of things in your head that really, like, thinking about times that maybe people have wronged you, and kind of using that against them. And when you have time to think about it, you can really dig deep. Also, another aspect, you are very friendly, and you're also very friendly even when you're angry. So it's hard to tell kind of when you might, go off. And that kind of makes people scared of you because they really don't know if you're, like, they can't get a good read on you. You really like to keep the harmony, so when people are disturbing that, they know that you're not in a good place, because generally you're pretty happy. Like, look at these trees here. And it's more about you're not very, like, outward until you're outward. You isolate, and you don't really show what's going on the inside, and that kind of is what makes people afraid of you, is because you don't give those signals to people. Not that you have to, but you don't really give people warning signs before you go off on them. And again, turning in. I think that you do a good job, though, trying to keep the peace. I think what makes people scared of you is that you do internalize it. So you're taking like what's going on the outside, and you're thinking about it a lot, and people see you ruminating on that. And then when they see you getting like that, they and I feel like people sometimes take advantage of you in that regard, or they kind of really push you because you don't give those signals. So what makes it scary is that when you actually do have time to think about it, you're actually thinking about all the other times too that maybe someone did something to you, and then you're thinking about all the other times that kind of connect to that one instance about that person. So what makes people scared of pile one? Trust. You're a very honest and loyal person. And what makes people scared of you is that you are so trusting and honest and loyal. It makes it kind of hard, not to be your friend, but you remember a lot of stuff and people really trust you. And I think that sometimes you might use that against them when you do go on them. And, people tell you a lot of secrets. They tell you a lot of stuff about themselves. And I think it's because you're just like a pretty peaceful person to begin with, and people trust you and you have a trusting appearance. So what makes people scared is that they've told you a lot of things and you have the ability to divulge that information. And I think that's why you kind of isolate, because you have a tendency to do that. So you want to make sure that you're like, you're not just acting in the moment there. It takes a lot to get you there, to get you to that point where you're going to use information against people. But they still have that fear of you that you would do that. Okay, so what makes people scared of you is that you are very abundant, and you don't give like what you receive from people sometimes in the way that like they might not be nice to you. um what actually frightens people is that you don't do that in return. You never give back to people what they've given to you, no matter how bad it is. You're very good at like you know being nothing, and standing in the things that you're grateful for, and who you are as a person and what makes you abundant. And that scares people because you really do not give a reaction unless you are very much pushed. You are a very kind person, and that scares people how kind you are. Oh my gosh, this is just kind of funny. It makes people afraid of you or scared of you. Pile one. Beyond illusion. So I see like a butterfly here. I think that what you see is what you get with you. I think what makes people scared is that you are kind of a social butterfly and you're willing to talk to people and listen to them. And there is no illusion. That's exactly how you are, and exactly how you are outwardly is what you get. The only thing, and that scares people because they're not sure if you're being fake or not, but you're a very genuine person, and they just can't get a read on you. And it's because you're so nice. Oh my God, this is hysterical. You're so nice that they can't get a read on you, and that scares people how kind you are, because people are not used to the level of kindness that you give to others. Because you demonstrate such maturity. You're so mature to a point that people just don't get it. A lot of people can be very childish and they act in anger. You really try hard not to. You are very evolved, I feel like, spiritually and maturity wise, because you really, really try to not give to other people what they may give to you, and that scares people because of how nice you are. People are not used to that. This is like hysterical to me right now. I can't even with you. But this is like a great thing. This is like what makes them scared is like your really positive nature. And that's funny. People are not used to how kind you are, and other people are not like this. You are very unique. So what makes people scared of you? Control issues. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. So what makes people scared of you is, one, your ability to control yourself. Like I said, that control is confusing, but you do have a limit. And then so it goes in both ways. When you have hit that limit, and what it takes a lot, there is no going back. And I would even say that, like, especially with like close friends and stuff, that when you're so patient and kind and mature that, like, if someone really did something terrible to you, I could probably say that you would no longer like be friends with this person, because you would just unleash. It's either 0 or 60 with you. You're either giving them nothing, or they really pushed you and it was probably like built up over time, and you're unleashing rage on them. Like, I just see you going like nutso, but it's very like, it's not like that unless you're pushed to that point. This is an interesting reading. I really like this one, actually. All right, so what makes people scared of you? We're going to pull an animal oracle. So these are the 2 decks I'm using for the oracle cards. The Crystal Angels, and then Animal Spirit, the Wild Unknown. Okay, so I'm going to pull what makes people scared of you for the Animal Spirit. 2. Hawk and a Cosmic Egg. Again, you're very connected to the universe, and what makes people scared of you is that you do have that intuition, that innate knowing when something is up. It's like you have the foresight and the clairvoyance and the eyes to see, like a hawk, what's really going on. It makes it really hard for people to lie to you. So it's like nobody can get anything past you, and that's what's really scary. Like, if someone came up to you and was trying to lie to you, I feel like you would be able to uncover it very quickly, and that makes you scary because they just can't lie to you. So even if it's something that's like really personal to you or something that's going on in your life, they're still going to get it out of you. And it's not like you're doing it on purpose. It's just that you know that they're not being truthful, and you just want to know the truth, and you want to trust that they're giving you the truth. And you have a very, like, and just thinking of like the hawk flying, like, you have a 1,000 level view of every situation going on, and that makes you very informed. And especially and I see like a work setting, it makes people very competitive with you, because you have like this knowing, and you can see the 1,000-foot view. And I just look at this egg, like the snake is just wrapped around, like it looks like the universe to me, like this cosmic knowing. I feel like you have a connection with like the Akashic records. Like, if you want to know something, you might not know it, but it just might come to you spiritually, because you're able to see all the moving parts of something. So to other people, they're scared or afraid of you because they know that they can't lie to you, because you're just going to know. It makes it very hard for them to lie to you, and they just end up giving you the truth anyway. It's almost like when I see this snake here, like, like with the like the snakes that rise up from playing the flute and they're like hypnotized. I feel like that's what you do to people. Like, your voice is melodic, or like it's your presence that is melodic and just like coerces the truth out of them. That's what I'm seeing. So that's what makes people fearful of you is all the things that I just explained. You're just innate knowing and it's so funny because I use the Zen Tarot, which is Osho, And, it just seems like you're very, very spiritually developed. And that's what scares people, is how spiritually developed you are. You have your moments, but it's very hard to get you there. And it's only when people really, really do you dirty. All right, pile one. That was a really cool message. I like that. Let's be friends. I feel like we would be good friends. I feel like this one's me. I would probably pick this one. Okay. All right. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. And if you're looking for a personal read, check out the description box below, and I would be glad to assist you with that. All right. Second pile. This is like my favorite deck of cards here. We have the Smoky Quartz. Okay. All right, Smoky Quartz, here we go. What makes people scared of you? What makes people scared of you? What makes people scared of you? Pile 2. Smoky Quartz. What makes people scared of you? They're jealous of you. Because you have the inner strength. So you're basically good at like whatever you touch, and that makes people scared of you. It intimidates them. Because you just always, whatever you wish for is what you get. To the point of like addiction. So your drive to go after what you want makes people scared because you're so ambitious that they're like, if you look at this, like they're chained up. Like you chain yourself to your projects or whatever it is that you're working on or wanting until you reach your goal. And that intimidates people. That's what makes them scared of you, because you're willing to do whatever it takes. And, sometimes that might not be in a great way, even emotionally, whatever. And it's kind of young energy with the Page of Cups. You're willing to do whatever it takes to get what you want. And it's kind of like, I feel like you have a intuition, but it's not completely developed, which kind of leads to some indecision. So you might be a little bit chaotic, but you have really good passion. So, when you're going after those things, it might be a little chaotic and you might be a little bit indecisive. And it might lead you to like kind of react rather than like kind of think about it and be emotionally like, stable in that. So that kind of scares people too, because when you're not able to get what you want, you seem like you freak out a little bit because you're so passionate about it and you want it so badly that it doesn't make you happy. And it can put you in an emotional state where people like are kind of like, whoa, let me back up from that a little bit. They're intimidated by it, and maybe sometimes you kind of direct it at other people, not meaning to, but you just want so badly to get your goals met and fulfill your wishes that you'll go at all costs, even if sometimes it does hurt people. So just be aware of that. What makes people scared of you? Yeah, I get like an explosion. And especially if you're working with people. You don't like working in group projects with people because you feel like they can't do it right. So you kind of cop an attitude, and like you're not afraid to like look at the lightning bolt here. You are not afraid to be like, what are you doing and why are you doing it this way? Especially when it affects your work. You do not like that. And like, look at this person here, like talking to the other two people. I feel like this is you, and like their arms are crossed and you're like, well, why did you do it this way? Like, we're trying to get this done. I don't understand why you're doing it this way. And it's, it's taking longer. So you're just kind of like intimidating in that regard because you are pretty sassy. You're willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And when people don't do it the right way, you get really upset because I feel like you are a perfectionist and people just can't compete with you. Like you're running so much quicker than everybody else. Like look, this person looks like they're the lead runner, and these two are like kind of, see how their bodies crossed? They're not in the same energy as you, but they're trying to keep up with you. People look up to you, but they are still intimidated by you, and that's what scares them because, you know, if you demand perfection, and if you don't get it, you better watch out. You're going to let them know. And sometimes that kind of goes with you too, and why you're indecisive, because you're trying to be perfect, and you're pretty darn close to it because you do get what you want, but that indecision of what you should do next, because I think you get wrapped up in the details of it, can cause those lashing out. So that does intimidate people. But you always get the project done, and then in the end, they're just like all kind of looking at you like you shouldered the burden yourself, and you brought it to the finish line, regardless of what obstacle was in your way. And you know, I see a sword here, and just looking at that, and you kind of just fought your way through it. You're the person that when they need a problem solved at work, they put you on the phone so that you can deal with the other people and get your way. And it's kind of like, not really emotional manipulation, but like very passionate speaking. A little bit emotional because it's a young energy here, but I get you speak very passionately, so like people listen to you and it intimidates them. And that's why they're scared of you. Yeah, look, just another runner here. Like, here's all your harvest, and you're running to the finish line. You're going to do whatever it takes. And then you have the Ace of Cups. So what I get from this is that, yes, you're very scary. And I think it like, you're like a Sour Patch Kid, and they get scared of you because you are so intimidating, but then you can be so nice, and it gets kind of confusing for people because you're one way or the other. You're very nice when it comes to like personal. You're willing to talk to people, and you're a good advisor and telling people what to do, but then they get scared of you when you turn on them in that regard. So that kind of frightens people because you are so nice and offering love, and you're like, here, let me help you. But then when you're like, here, let me help you, if they don't do it your way, you're like, okay, here's what you're doing wrong. This is why you're doing it wrong. Let me show you how to do it right. So you're just very intimidating, maybe a little bit domineering, but that's not a bad thing at all. That's a good quality to have, especially in the workplace. If you, do work in a corporate environment, you might even be the boss. I see here. Definitely the boss. But it's very hard to manage people because it's hard to manage them people because they all have their own idea of, how you should be. But it's really good that you stand in your power and you're just like, this is exactly how I'm going to be. Sometimes it's better to have people scared of you and then offer that, like, this way. Like, offering that kind gesture, that emotional gesture to show that, I'm not like this all the time. So that's the only thing that I would say that makes you scary is that, you're very determined. You're willing to say exactly what's on your mind and tell people when they're not meeting your standards. But you're also very nice at the same time, so it gets confusing for people. So what makes people scared of pile 2? Oops, not that many. What makes people scared of pile 2? Okay, we have natural beauty and authenticity. Be yourself as God made you, naturally attractive, lovable, inside out. So people are scared of you because they're intimidated by, how well you kind of flow through life. You might be naturally beautiful, and you are very authentic and true to yourself. People do not know how to be true to themselves. It does not come naturally, and that scares people, how confident you are in your own abilities. Okay, so then lastly, we're going to pull an animal spirit card for you. What makes people scared of you? And this was too many. What makes people scared of you? What makes people scared of you? The way that you roar. Watch out. See those fangs? You really show people your aggressiveness, and like, especially when you are not pleased or you're trying to get what you want. You really show that side of yourself. Panther, they're like stealthy, like in the night. I think that's also you too. You kind of operate like in the background and in the night. You already have planned out how you want things to go. And if people do not follow it, and the funny thing is that like you kind of keep it in your head, and that's what makes people think like, am I supposed to read their mind? And they just get intimidated because they want to do right by you. But it's just really hard to do right by you because you have an idea of how things should go in your head. But then also when they ask you, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to explain this to you. And it's not common sense. You're very impatient because you think that it should be common sense. And that makes people scared of you because not everybody thinks like you, although that you think that they do. Oh, this was funny. This reminds me of my sister. I feel like she's going to pick this one. All right. All right, thank you, Pile 2. If you are looking for a personal reading, check out the description box and contact me via email, and we can set something up. All right, Pile 3, let's go ahead and get started then. All right, we have the last reading, which is going to be the amethyst crystal, which is right here. It's beautiful. All right, amethyst. All right, so what makes people scared of you? What makes people scared of you? What makes people scared of Pile 3? What makes people scared of Pile 3? Okay, so we have the World and the King of Wands. So I see like the people in the bunker and the world's on fire. Like your whole world could be on fire, and like you're still like, look at this person, they're like mindlessly drilling a hole into a bone and still working. Like you have this. What makes people scared of you is your ability to keep going, even when things like in your life appear like they're kind of falling apart. Like you are just like stone cold, and you're like, yep, I'm gonna keep doing this. Doesn't matter what's happening. You're really good at like separating things. So like when you should be like, where normal people might be like, okay, maybe I should take a break and reevaluate things. You just keep going and keep pressing forward, and people kind of are looking at you like, are they okay? A little bit unhinged in that regard, but you just like work through it. Like you have a really, really strong work ethic, and that kind of scares people because where people like, and you might work really long hours, like ridiculous schedule, and people might think that there's something wrong with you because you work like that. And like, is there something wrong with that? That's all I keep hearing, just because you are such a hard worker. What makes people scared of Pile 3? What makes people scared of Pile 3? Oop. People might be intimidated because you are recognized for your accolades and you probably produce the best work. Look, you're like you're mowing a lawn with a suit on. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty, but I think that you might be recognized publicly, and I think people are maybe jealous of you or intimidated because you just are such a high achiever, and you expect the best of yourself. And you're going to get it done whether you're wearing a suit or you're not. You're going to get down there and get your hands dirty. People just are not sure of that work ethic, and they haven't seen anything like it. And it like kind of comes off as unbalanced. What makes people scared of you? Yeah, you kind of like are able to do it all. You're able to be the empress, take care of your children, have very solid boundaries, just overall just intimidating, like you do it all. And I think people are actually maybe jealous of you a bit because you do have it all. Where other people's worlds would be on fire, you're going like 100% full blaze, like trailblazer is what I hear. Wheel of Fortune and the King of Swords. I feel like you don't take anybody's shit. Like, you're definitely, like, if someone pops off at you, you're going to be throwing swords at them. Like, and they're lucky if they're going to be able to escape them. And look, this lady has a machine gun. She's just kind of waiting. I feel like you kind of are, like, wait for people to say something. Like, not encourage it, but, like, you're like, please say, like, if something gets a little bit heated, you're like, oh, please say something to me. I dare you to. And that kind of scares people because they know that you're going to fire off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they offend you, they know that they're going to get something back that they are definitely not going to like, and that scares them. You're just so high performing and just like, it's really, look at you. You're the, like, there's the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. I feel like you would make a really, like, good lawyer. You're very good at debating or arguing. So people are scared to go head to head with you because you have very good arguments, and they're gonna lose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what it's about. They could probably be more versed in the topic, or maybe even work in that field, and you would still show them up. You would still be better than them. Very intimidating. So you're not afraid to walk away from something, and and you just see the cemeteries here. Like, you're able to let things die off very quickly because you know if it's good for you or if it's not, and then just have that new beginning. You're able to leave things behind and be like, you know what? I'm done with that. We're moving on to the next thing here. And that makes you a little bit scary because it maybe might come off as, like I was saying, unhinged, but like you know what's best for you and you're very certain. And that's why you've always been able to achieve really great things, and maybe why you're in the spotlight, because you go, yep, done with that, next. It's like you're emotionless is what I get. I only see this 5 of Cups card here, and it seems like you're emotionless, and that scares people because it seems like you just, and this is the fitting deck because it's the zombie deck, it seems like you're a zombie. Like, you just kind of go through life. Like, you have emotions, but like you're very good at controlling them and like harnessing them. You're the King of Wands, the Empress, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords. You are just very good at being the best at everything. You're in a very high resonating energy. Anything you do basically turns to gold, and you're very decisive and you're willing to work for it and get down to it. Lots of accolades, being recognized a lot, and people are either jealous of you or scared of what you're going to say to them if they act up, or just getting in a debate with you. An argument with you is not fun for people. And they see that. That's why people usually just tend to agree with you. And I think sometimes you get upset by that because you're like, why are you agreeing with me if you think that like this isn't right? It's because they're scared to tell you that they think differently. So watch out for that sometimes. I think sometimes you can be a little bit overbearing because people are scared to actually tell you how they feel about something because they're scared of your reaction. You're not easy to argue with, and they know it's going to be an argument. So, like, why are they even going to engage in the argument? So people might not, like, tell you a lot of things. You might feel, like, left in the dark sometimes, and it's because of that nature that you are very argumentative, that they just don't want to engage with you in that way because they know you're going to blow them away. Even if you're wrong, you can still blow them away. It makes people scared of you. I'll pull a couple more cards here. It makes people scared of you. You're very understanding, but people don't really see that side of you because you're always delivering to people like the truth of what it is, and it's very accurate. You have that Ace of Cups mentality, and look, they're like holding a brain. You're very logical, and you think very logically, and you can help people with their problems, except I think sometimes like you just don't have time to, and if it's a burden or something that that isn't going to help you, you're just unwilling to do it. So I think that you can be a little bit impatient sometimes. And you're like, are you serious? Like, is this really a problem? And you might even like talk that way to people where it's a little bit more abrasive. Like if it comes to something that's that they're really sensitive about and they come to you asking for help or something, they just don't want to because of how you treat the situation. Like it's almost like I'm better than you. And like granted you are, but like they might not, like if it's coming from a friend and you're like, I don't understand how you don't know what to do in this situation. You're just very straightforward and you just say it like it is. That might hurt their feelings. And look, there's like they're like all chopped up here. So they might not want to tell you because you're just going to give them the straight up truth, no matter how much it hurts, or like even maybe just a tiny bit insulting, because they don't know what to do. You just are just so fast, so quick paced, and you do everything at like double the time what other people do, that you just don't have time to sit there and listen to these people like talk about this problem that seems so apparent on how to fix. So it seems just like you're a little bit full of yourself, but like that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. You're very decisive. That's good. So what makes people scared of you? I'll pull an oracle card here. Do this one. Socialize or join in. Make healthy and supportive new friendships and connections by getting involved with a group of like-minded people. You might float around with people of really high importance because you're one of those people too. And I think that intimidates people. And it probably makes people hard to talk to you because you are so high functioning and you associate with people like that too. And you don't want to be friends with people that aren't on the same path as you. You're just very, very determined and you're not going to let anything get in your way. Okay, what makes people scared of you? We'll do another oracle card. You bring the heat, fire in. So again, like you might sting people. You see the red and the different color and the yellow, just like cautionary. Yeah, I think that you're very sharp and have a lot of fire to you. And you speak very freely, very openly, and very straight to the point, and sometimes it hurts people's feelings. So they're scared of you because you might say something that hurts them. Although you don't seem like you always try to, it's just that you're moving so fast that you just don't have time to, like, help people with their problems all the time. And you see it as a waste of time because you're like, how do you not get this? And they're intimidated by that. All right, pile 3, what a reading. You go get them. Let me tell you what. All right, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Every bit helps. If you're looking for a personal reading, check out the description box below, and we can definitely get you in there. Other than that, everybody have a blessed day.